violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
A man has been charged in a drive-by shooting that wounded a 3-year-old boy. Andy Wallace was arrested yesterday. He's charged with aggravated battery and aggravated discharge of a firearm.
Wow. Guys, why do I have to keep saying this for you guys to get it? These super gremlins, they don't care. Women, children, it doesn't matter. Anybody can get it. And this Chicago, baby. And over there, these super gremlins are on demon time.
The shooting happened last month in Chicago's West Garfield Park neighborhood. Police say Wallace fired shots into a car that the boy was riding in, hitting him in the face. Wallace is expected to be in court today.
Shot a 3-year-old boy in the face. This dude should be ashamed of himself. But I mean, just looking at the picture, I'm getting the vibe that he's not remorseful for what he did. There are some demonic forces that are living among us, and they're inhabiting a good amount of these super gremlins. It's almost to the point of no return.
Last month in Chicago's West Garfield Park neighborhood. Police say Wallace fired shots into a car that the boy was riding in, hitting him in the face. Wallace is expected to be in court today.
Yeah, those 7 people right now at various hospitals, all in critical condition tonight. This says police are diverting traffic from this intersection, canvassing this massive scene, looking to speak with witnesses and talking to businesses for potential security video. You can see showcasing scattered near the intersection of 79th and Exchange.
So you have 7 people shot. All of them are in critical condition. I will say this now. A lot of times we do these stories where it's one person shot, 13 injured, or, you know, 2 people shot at. This super gremlin managed to hit 7 people. So if these super gremlins start getting aim, we're going to be in a lot more trouble than we've been in the past.
The shooting happening just after 3:30. Police aren't releasing much more information at this time, but neighbors who didn't want to go on camera say this type of thing happens way too often in this neighborhood.
Dang, they did it in front of the Little Caesars. All right, Little Caesars is off limits now. You know what I mean? Can't even go to the Little Caesars, bruh. It's crazy.
They say they heard about 10 gunshots after the shooters were seen getting out of a car and firing at another group. Police right now have not commented on any suspects or arrests in this case or a motive behind this shooting. Now back here live, we do know that Superintendent Brown is expected to be en route to provide us more information on the shooting sometime after 5:30.
Judy, county law enforcement officials have started using global positioning to track thousands of people charged with crimes and awaiting trial. Defendants who until recently would have been locked up in jail. Now they are being held virtually in e-carceration by wearing a tracking bracelet that beams their whereabouts to a global positioning system satellite orbiting miles overhead.
And guys, this movement to put trackers on these super gremlins, even though they've got violent crimes, and let them out on bond or supervised provision or whatnot. This was heavily pushed by Kim Foxx, a sister district attorney who is in Chicago. You know, she has spearheaded this movement to go soft on these super gremlins, and it has really shown, like, the ramifications of her actions have really presented themselves within the last year or two. I mean, Chicago has been bad for a minute, but this past year, 2021, and going into 2022, it's going to be even worse.
Instead of incarceration behind the iron bars at 26th and California. The electronic monitoring system that began 25 years ago, mostly for nonviolent drug offenders, was first based on phone lines and required in-home control box equipment.
For high-risk offenders,
The new technology is GPS-based and involves more streamlined technology, according to Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart, who is working with University of Chicago on the program.
GPS wasn't needed originally because these were nonviolent offenders. We weren't really concerned about them out there. Now we're much more concerned.
The sheriff distressed these days because a majority of the nearly 3,300 bracelet-wearing defendants currently on home monitor devices are accused of violent crimes, gun crimes, and many already have violent histories.
There was never a meeting by anybody to say, let's change it to watching violent people. That just was done overnight. And so now it's been a question of how best to try to maintain the security of our communities.
With murders in Chicago up 50% this year, keeping communities safe has already been a significant challenge for the...
And I want to go back and look at these crimes that you could potentially receive a monitor on. All right. We're just going to go through it really quickly. Armed violence, category 1, AGG, loaded, firearm, residential burglary, wow, voluntary manslaughter, felony in possession, use of a weapon, possession with a firearm, deface serial number. Wow, so all these charges you can get an ankle monitor with. Armed habitual crime, failure to report address change, murder with intent to kill / injure. Wow. Heroin. Goodness gracious. They're letting everybody out. Felony with possession and use of a firearm. Aggravated domestic battery, which is how we get a lot of the femicide. Black women being killed by super gremlins. We see that a lot. And that comes from, you know, these brothers they get locked up on domestic violence charges and they come back home and then they... really aggravated assault, all these things, fentanyl. So all these charges you can pretty much walk with. Aggravated battery against a police officer, armed robbery with a firearm. Wow. Crazy.
With murders in Chicago up 50% this year, keeping communities safe has already been a significant challenge for the sheriff and all of law enforcement. And even though Dart strongly disagrees with widening the release of dangerous defendants, he says the GPS monitor project with U of C is a positive turn.
Not only are we going to have GPS, but we're going to be able to lifetime layer over it crime data to see if not only if people are on electronic monitoring involved with crimes, but if there's patterns and things like that we need to know of as well.
We have they have SEX charges too, violation to register. So if Nicki Minaj's husband wants to go to Chicago, and he'll be good. You know what I'm saying? He'll only get an ankle monitor. He won't be facing prison time. Another premeditated SEX assault. So they're even letting intercourse offenders off. And all this is doing, aggravated DUI, wow. All this is doing is emboldening these super gremlins on demon time.
Sheriff Dart says he is under a federal court mandate to carry out extensive prisoner releases in keeping with the decarceration push by Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx.
That don't even sound right. Decarceration. I told you this is being spearheaded by Kim Foxx. She's a menace, bruh.
Tonight, though, a spokesperson for the state's attorney telling the I-Team it is county judges who determine both bond and whether an individual is a threat to the public or should be placed on an electronic monitor and freed.
A bill has been introduced making a path for voters to recall Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. The bill was filed by State Representative Tim Butler, who says Foxx has, quote, created a crisis of confidence in the Cook County judicial system.
Wow. So now they're pushing a bill to recall Kim Foxx, and obviously they're going to shift the narrative and say this is racism and all this kind of stuff. When in all actuality, she's just made it less safe for people in Chicago. Why they continue to push these women into positions of power, especially these sisters, unfortunately, they don't know what they're doing. Or maybe they do know what they're doing and they don't care. But either way, the result is still the same. And I don't think she's going to be recalled. Honestly, I think they're going to shift the narrative and it's going to be a racial thing. But it's just disappointing that these sisters continue to lead the community to a path of destruction.
Butler cited the Jussie Smollett case and a shooting investigation from last year where Fox initially refused to file charges against 5 gang members who participated in a deadly shootout on Chicago's West Side.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
New at 5, a defamation lawsuit filed against the city of Chicago and Mayor Lori Lightfoot. The politically explosive complaint alleging Lightfoot blocked a potential compromise with Italian Americans over the controversial Columbus statue.
Some of the explicit language in the court documents is raising eyebrows tonight. WGN's Julian Cruz is in Chicago's Little Italy community with reaction. Julian?
Well, Dina and Ray, Italian-American community leaders say that if the allegations are true, they're deeply disappointed with the mayor who is accused of making extremely offensive and vulgar remarks about Italian-Americans back in October.
Oh, wow. So we've got a multi-minority in Lori Lightfoot. Whereas she is a woman, she is a black woman, and she is an LGBT black woman. So she's checking off all the minority boxes. But now she's over here perpetuating the same quote unquote racial and bigoted stereotypes or language that she herself would condemn if somebody brought upon her.
During a private Zoom session at City Hall with a Park District lawyer and others. Mayor Lightfoot, do you have anything to say? Are you going to talk to the Italian-American community? Mayor Lori Lightfoot not taking questions after a downtown event in the wake of a defamation lawsuit filed yesterday in Cook County Circuit Court on behalf of now former Park District Deputy Counsel George Smirniotis.
And I was just flabbergasted.
Community leader Ron Onesti says if the allegations are true, Chicago's mayor didn't act in good faith when it comes to delicate negotiations over last fall's Columbus parade after Italian Americans sued the city, then tried to reach a compromise with the Park District in order to display a Columbus statue at the parade for just 20 minutes.
You know, a good faith gesture would be allowing us to utilize the statue for the Columbus Day parade.
And you know why she didn't want to honor the Columbus Day situation, because she's one of those wokesters and she says, oh, she's pushing the narrative, which, you know, we know Christopher Columbus did damage in these streets, but at the end of the day, he did something for history, all right? And people are honoring that. Not everybody in history, not every hero is perfect. All right, the standard for what civilization is or was back then is not the same for today. And she probably didn't want to honor Christopher Columbus because he was a colonizer and whatnot. which is fine, but at the end of the day, it doesn't give you the right to, especially as a public official, talk crap about the Italians who wanted to get this done.
Because our community was bruised, we felt slapped in the face.
You may remember back in 2020, unrest over the Grant Park statue, Columbus, a controversial figure to many for what historians say was a brutal subjugation of Native Americans. As a result, Chicago's mayor ordering the removal of several Columbus statues across the city.
Told you.
But in what the lawsuit alleges was a profanity-laced Zoom call with the mayor last October, the Park District's deputy counsel bearing the allegedly defamatory brunt of a mayoral tirade. You bleeps, what the bleep were you thinking? She's alleged to have.
Wow. She said, you D's. So the D word rhymes with prick. What the F were you thinking? You make some kind of secret agreement with Italians. You're out there measuring your D's with the Italians, seeing who's got the biggest D.
Have said, you make some kind of secret agreement with Italians. You're out there measuring your blank with the Italians, seeing who's got the biggest blank. The mayor, pictured here at today's gathering of the Council on American Islamic Relations, verbally attacking then Park District lawyer George Smirniotis on the Zoom call, according to the lawsuit. Where did you go to law school, she's alleged to have said. Did you even go to law school? Do you even have a law license?
So she is attacking his credentials when we all know that Lori Lightfoot isn't fit for the job that she has right now. I mean, look at Chicago. It's a mess.
Smear notice claiming that Lightfoot damaged his reputation with allegedly false and outrageous statements, calling his professional integrity into question.
A reaction is one of almost complete surprise that the mayor would use that language, referring to the Italian Americans.
Enrico Marabelli says the allegedly crude and disrespectful references to private parts said to have been delivered by the mayor, extremely hurtful to Italian Americans.
Well, I think if we learn anything from this, we learned that if you have a conversation about privates, it doesn't always remain private.
The mayor allegedly adding,
That was pretty funny.
I am trying to keep Chicago police officers from being shot, and you were trying to get them shot. My bleep is bigger than yours and the Italians, and I have the biggest bleep in Chicago.
Wow. She said all of this in a Zoom meeting? Boy, these Zoom meetings, I tell you, like, it makes people bold. It makes people think that they can just say whatever because they're not in front of somebody physically. She says she has the biggest D in Chicago, and her D is bigger than all of the Italians. Wow. Correction, you have the biggest strap on. You might have the biggest dildo. I think that's the D word that you were looking for. Right? She's piping down the super tall white chick that she's dating. I mean, look, do what you got to do. I'm not coming down and condemning the LGBT activities, but a lot of these women just have penis envy, bro, and it's it's weird. Like, you know those girls who say, "Oh, suck my D," like they go out and say that as if it's some type of insult, and really you're just making yourself look stupid. Like I said, these women have penis envy, especially these LGBT women. They think they're a man. They think they're the man. But trust me, Lori, you'll never be him.
Onesty says none of this was necessary.
We're Chicagoans. That's our mayor. And for our mayor to be talking about any ethnic group or any group of people that are in her constituency to that degree.
Right. Imagine if she was a white mayor, an Italian mayor at that, and she was talking about, these Mulianos, my D is bigger than all these Moolies and all that. Imagine if she was speaking all that. There would be protests, outcry, all types of stuff. This story, it doesn't even get any headway. Like, it was suppressed in the media.
I just hope it's not true.
Oh, you bet your ass it's true. Because LGBT females, especially sisters, love talking about how big they strap-on is.
Now, Corporation Counsel refusing a request for comment, telling us that since this matter is now being litigated, they will not be commenting on this. And no word from George Smirnotis, who says in the lawsuit that he suffered emotional distress as a result of this incident. He was unable to perform his job, and thus he says he was forced to resign in February. In Little Italy, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.